Topic number one says, is this a good example of democracy? Of course, this came with a link. In fact, it came with several links, so we'll go through all of them. The first link takes us to X. Well, actually, all three of them takes us to X. This is from AF Post. It says, AIPAC is pumping millions into Cori Bush's district primary to replace her with equally far left but ardently pro-Israel Democrat challenger Wesley Bell. AIPAC successfully unseated Representative Jamal Bowman earlier this summer, spending over $14 million in his primary race. The lobby group also enjoyed a similar strategy in Republican Representative Thomas Massey's primary, spending at least $400K on ads attacking him for opposing foreign aid. So here we have Cori Bush. This is Jamal Bowman, I believe. And I guess that's Thomas Massey. This also came with another link. As I said, it came with three. Let's go to it. So this post is from Blakely LLC. It says, how the F is anyone okay with this trash? So this is a screenshot of the AIPAC saying, the many have spoken. Congratulations to pro-Israel progressive leader at Bell Formo on your big win against anti-Israel squad member Rep. Cori Bush. AIPAC and our 4.5 million grassroots members are proud to stand with Wesley Bell. Being pro-Israel is good policy and good politics. So we see the breakdown of how things went. 51% voted for Wesley Bell. Cori Bush only got 46% of the vote. Others got 3% and less than 1%. Last attachment for this one. This is from Armani. It says, and folks were terrified of quote-unquote Russian interference in 2016. It shows Cori Bush becomes second squad member, ousted in the primary. I really can't stand the picture they use of her, by the way. I notice it's common to kind of, whenever you use a picture of black folks, to use like the worst representation of them. This is from AIPAC again, talking about pro-Israel is good policy and good politics. So clearly in American politics, there's outside influences. And I saw several people, I think Toraine Walker posted about it, as well as a few others. But the idea that foreign entities can influence even the U.S. Elections is very interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me. Let me see how interesting it is to the rest of my panelists. Let me start with Jose on this one. Jose, what say you to this?
I'm sorry. This went over my head. It happened two times, right? With two black people, and this AIPAC financed their opponent like with a mountain of money, right? That's what happened, right?
Pretty much, yes. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's you know how it's how what angle shall I use? There, it's like they quote unquote cannot lie anymore. Everything is visible, and why are we still why do we still see the West as the safest place with all the corruption right in front of our nose? The most corrupted people tell us that we are corrupted. The Caribbean and Africa are it's all corruption, etc. But everyday corruption at this scale passes by, and it's like we're numb. It's like I mean, Okay, what's this? What's the English version from from the from the fire into the from the flame into the fire, or I forgot what the proverb was, but for, we
Frying
have
pan to the fire. From the frying pan to the fire.
from the
Out of
fire
the frying
into the
into the
fire.
fire. Yeah.
So if you have to choose between the less evil, right? So even with voting inside of the United States, we have to choose the less evil. Okay, let's make it global. Like, okay, what's the less evil? Continue living in the West, or go back to the Caribbean and Africa. So yeah, I'm I'm uh, that's what bothers me. Our reaction is what bothers me. So if you don't want to lose, stop playing the game. I see us losing, be it Katrina or be it voting or whatever, and the whole world is speaking of the United States because every camera is pointed at the United States. But I give the American examples, but it's always the same. We always have the shortest straw, and so when are we? When are we going to vote between the less of two evil, the corruption back home, or this infinite corruption in the West? And yeah, I'll pass the mic.
I appreciate that, Jose. I thought Jose was going to go a different way with that, so I'll go at it this way. One of the things I thought about when I saw this, uh, as much as we might thumb our nose at it and condemn it, I thought about why can't we do this on the continent as well? See, the ideas, the Israelis don't just say we all got to go back to Israel to affect change, blah blah blah, which is smart, by the way. I'm not knocking it, but they also work their interests in other ways too. And this is an example of when you look at AIPAC's policies. One of their main policies is to strengthen and expand the U.S.-Israel relationship in ways that enhance the security of the United States and Israel. And I'm looking at that and I'm saying, why aren't we doing that on the continent? Why are we from the diaspora aren't doing more of that, I should say, and strengthening that type of support to better both the continent and the nations that we may hail from outside of the continent. And I think that's something we should kind of take an example here and start working towards. That's just my early thoughts on that. Let me go to Buana next. Buana, is this a good example of democracy?
Well, it depends on what you understand as democracy. Democracy really means different things to different countries. In America, the regular rank and file people believe that democracy is going to the polls and voting for their political leadership. But in reality, democracy is which lobby groups could pay a politician to get whatever they need, whatever interest they need met. That's what democracy is in America. So whether you are a lobby group lobbying for oil or gun rights or technology or steel or pharmaceutical companies, whatever lobby group wants, that's their own slice of that democracy. They have to be able to pay to the highest bidder for that. That's what democracy is, deciding what slice of the democratic system that you're going to get, what favors that you're going to get from your politicians, what laws that you're going to have implemented in terms of if I have a pharmaceutical company, well, I want my products to be sold for this particular price in this state, and I want these kind of tax concessions. That's what democracy means, because at the end of the day, America is a business. I mean, it's a business. So some people look at it as a business. Some people look at it differently. But that's how you weigh and measure. And I haven't really looked into Cory Bush politics. You know, I really kind of like really was blending off American politics for a while. I really not interested anymore. I bought a book by Kamala Harris. The book is called "We Hold These Truths." I couldn't even I couldn't even read like 2 pages of that because I thought it was utter nonsense. So I invested as I was before in American politics. So I don't want to speak on these particular politicians. But what I do know is this: if you go against certain lobby groups, in particular, strong lobby groups like the AIPAC, these are the Jews and stuff like that, you are doing that to your peril if you are an American politician. I might as well tell you, because they are one of the stronger lobby groups in the United States, and they represent such a small population of people in America, but their strength is so. But I guess they backed by Israel, and I guess they backed by what's going on in the Middle East and oil rights and all kind of other things, you know. But and Hollywood and the different interests within inside of America itself. But if you go against that Israeli lobby group, man, you are doing that to your peril. They have big influence into American politics, and I don't understand how they have gotten so deeply embedded into American politics, where they have as much of a say so than the regular American person on the street. Matter of fact, more than a say so. You know, but they are the best example of how you could still be small and still be yet powerful. But to Jose's statements, what I would say is this: you know, for people who looking at the world in terms of power and in terms of providing your services where you could see something for it, in terms of looking at the world through a black view, I would look at the Sahelian states. Places like Burkina Faso, these people are trying to rebuild an economy and create a world-class economy. You know, so if you're willing to take a chance and take a risk, see if you could get connected, man. You know, see if you could get connected, see what you could offer. See if you could get in the group where you could offer something to those countries, you know, whether it's technical know-how and knowledge or whatever you learn in the West, man, because they seem to be very serious about what the direction they're trying to go into the world in influencing the world in certain kind of African matters and in terms of power. So I would say that for a lot of the Pan-Africans on this side of the world, looking through the world and say, where do we land? I would say that would be your best bet. That's what I would say, but I'll leave it there, Coco.
I appreciate that, Bueno. Let's welcome in our boy Anthony McPhail. Anthony, how are you this week?
Hey, how you doing, Coco? What's going on, man?
Good. Thanks for coming through as always.
Yeah, man. Peace to everybody on the panel too, man, and in the chat. I kind of, you know what? I mean, could you update me a little bit? Because when I came on when Jose was talking, and I kind of missed the first part of it.
Oh yeah, so it's just I'll recap it. It's about AIPAC, which is the pro-Israel group in America. They pumped millions into Cori Bush's district primary to replace her, and they did it. They were able to get up out of there, and they were able to get their guy. What's his name? His name is Wesley Bell. They were able to get Wesley Bell. So here's a tweet from them. The many have spoken. Congratulations to Wesley Bell on your big win against anti-Israel squad member Representative Cori Bush. AIPAC and our 4.5 million grassroots members are proud to stand with Wesley Bell. Being pro-Israel is good policy, and good policy, It's almost a taunt if you really read that. And once again, it says AIPAC and our 4.5 million grassroots members were proud to help progressive pro-Israel leader Wesley Bell defeat anti-Israel squad member Representative Cori Bush. And once again, they repeat, being pro-Israel is good policy and good politics. So we were talking about this from the standpoint of, you know, this is America, and yet you have, well, at least I brought that up. This is America, and you have these outside forces meddling in American politics, American elections. How is that so comfortably done? And then I added afterwards that, you know, perhaps this is something we should try to do ourselves as diasporans, on the continent of Africa to have these type of proactive groups and whatnot. But so yeah, so that's the update on what it's all about. And the prompt says, "Is this a good example of democracy?" So, what say you, Anthony?
Okay. I got it now. I'm gonna have to go with what Bonner said. You know, when you going against that particular group. No. Okay. Let me say that. Do that again. Okay. As far as American politics concerned, if you as a black person who sees things through a Pan Africanist lens, you going up against an almost unbeatable monster. You know what I'm saying? When you go up against the American corporate interest, because see that's what it's about. All of these corporate interest groups that you see that we saying outside groups, these from wherever they're from Israel, from South Africa, from Europe, and all these financial institutions. You know what I'm saying? These were the same people who helped create America. A lot of people don't know that, don't realize that. America is big business. That's all it is. It's big business. I mean, that's what it started off as, you know what I'm saying? Building the country, what I'm trying to say, off of the trafficking of Africans to America, off of all of the bullshit that they did in the Western Hemisphere when you go to carry a big stick of ideology, you know what I'm saying? Being the big dog in North America, Central America, South America, corporate money, controlling everybody's resources. You know what I'm saying? Controlling all the mineral wealth in the Americas. And as much as they can all over the world. It's a corporate thing. It's money. That's what it is, money. So I mean, it ain't no such thing as democracy. You know what I'm saying? They could call it it's democracy as far as like, you free to go in and run over and take people's shit. You know what I'm saying? But no, it ain't no. It's not no. I mean, it's not democracy, man. It's straight up money, man. It's straight up corporate interest. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all of these little politics, these little issues that they try to bring up, man, that don't mean shit, man. It's about money for them. And it just so happened that the white folks in control of all of the money. But no, man, it ain't no democracy, man. I mean, I was listening to some of the stuff Jose was saying, man. I agree with that part, man. About all of the corruption and all of the bullshit. But I mean, I think Boy hit it on the head. He was. I agree with him 100%. That's what it is. I'll leave it.
I appreciate that, Anthony. Last but not least, only you've heard everything everyone else had to say. You've seen the chat, particularly Trigger Happy 262 Plus, who says we don't have state power, nor do we have a codified identity. So that's why we can't do what it does, or what Israel does. Interesting. What say you to all of it?
Yeah, I completely agree. I'll say this, man. Unfortunately, this is a good example of democracy, and this is and by a good example, I mean this is exactly what you should expect from a democratic system. As Juana put it, people, it means you're for sale, and this is why other countries are not trying to be democratic, because when you're democratic, you're for sale, and people have to realize that this is a foreign, in terms of America, right? This is a foreign government that is looking at your representative, right? You're a congressional representative, the person who is supposed to advocate federal laws on your behalf. A foreign government is openly bragging about removing your representative from the highest lawmaking body in the country, right? Just openly bragging about it, openly investing in, and it happens to be a black woman. So who knows how difficult it is for a black person to become an elected official, right? Notwithstanding that, another nation that this black person has nothing to do with pushes them out, and we go along with it. you know, she still lost the vote, and they found some black guy to do it for him. And you know, I'm not saying, you know, black woman, black guy. It's not the point, right? The point more so is that they can just find somebody to replace you. Foreign governments, right? Not even your local government. Your foreign government can easily find somebody to replace you if you're, you know, advocating policy on behalf of your own people. If you're simply saying, hey, you know what, I mean, of course, I'm not saying that, like, I don't know Cody Bush's policies either, right? So I can't say whether or not she was advocating for the people in her district. I don't know, right? But what I can say is that, you know, if you're a black person, independent minded or what have you, and you start advocating for your own people, and you're not advocating for another people that you have absolutely nothing connected to, nothing to do with, you can get out of office. And it's so easy that a foreign government can do it. So what do you think your government can do? You know, so I echo the sentiments that, you know, you have no business being there, honestly. But also, I also think that, you know, when Koku was saying, you know, we should be doing something similar, it you know, it reminds me of, I think Garfield might have said it, but, you know, whatever man can do, man, no, whatever man has done, man can do, right? Why are we like this kind of tells you, one, that we could have for, you know, you know, African advocation group, right? In the Western world, but we could also have it in the African world, right? I don't know if people saw recently there was this debacle going on in South Africa where they pretty much disqualified this this Nigerian woman from running for Miss South Africa, and then they made a white woman win. You know, they crowned a white woman Miss South Africa. So it's like a straight up French woman. So the you know, of course that's, you know, whatever. But the point is that, yeah, you know, you're supposed to know, we're supposed to know that, one, we could do this, right? Take notes. But the other thing is, you got to realize that this is also the weakness in democracy. So democracy has a weakness. That's what you got to realize. And you got to say to yourself, well, that means that I should engage, quote unquote, democratic countries from a monetary, financial standpoint, right? Because say what you will, Cori Bush lost by a little bit of votes, really, you know, compare, you know, and they probably invested, I think, $2 million in her race to get her out. So she lost by a little bit of votes, but she lost. Right? And in losing, right, that tells you that we could be like we could be manipulated. You know, she's the incumbent right there. You see, 57,000 to 51,000. She's the incumbent, and somehow they got 57,000 people out for this other group, that guy. That tells you that we could be manipulated, right? That tells you that they're they're playing with us. Right. And it also tells you that, you know, for what it's worth, you know, you say, hey, you know what, voting's not that smart. Well, I mean, you know, voting's not that smart. You can't really get nothing done, blah, 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 blah. You might say that, but then why the hell are they putting so much money into it? That's all I'm saying.
Well said there. Why the hell are they putting so much money into it if it doesn't matter, right? Zuliism in the chat. Well, Real Black Gentleman said, I second what Oni said. I agree with Oni as well. Zuliism is out there. He says, who cares? She was corrupt too. And, you know, I didn't do my due diligence and look. I know we discussed her before and in terms of corruption, but I don't remember the conversation that we had about her. But does anyone on the panel, is anyone familiar with what corruption she carried out in her time? Okay, I guess no one knows. So yeah, I didn't do my due diligence and look it up. If Azuli wanted to come up, you'll have to come up now though, before I move on to the next topic, to break down what was the corruption that she was involved in. Is there any other last thoughts on this prompt before I move on? All right, quiet crowd tonight.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I think that people need to separate. She is a black lady, make no mistake about that. But I think that a lot of politicians are led not necessarily based off of race. They led by their interests. Matter of fact, that's most people, to be honest with you. And I think that yes, race is important in different kinds of elections, but I don't know what this lady's politics is. I really don't know. I think that the black community has reached a place where we should be kind of like self-governing. You know what I mean? I think that we used to think that the politicians would take us to the promised land. But I think that living in 2024 and right now, I think that we realize the politician is not going to take us to the promised land. That's just not going to happen. You got to do it yourself, man. You got to take yourself there, but I'll leave it.
So real quickly,
Yes, I wanted to add and come back on that on that part of not playing the game. If I may. So if you don't want to lose, don't play the game. And I was speaking about politics or their politics, their economy, their society, right? So this example. So what Oni mentioned, if it wasn't if the voting was. Then why do they put so much money in it? But that's the same as advertisements on TV. Okay, if the TV doesn't influence you, why do they put so much money into advertisements? So yeah, switch off the TV, right? And then what do you do? That's what Buanaziki just mentioned. Become a nation. Become self-sufficient, self-providing, self-defending, etc. Nation inside of a nation. I see people do it here. Turks, Chinese. I mean, okay, lately Turks are very active in politics, but Chinese is practically zero. But they get their demands fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? No politics, so they don't play the game, but they get what they want. And and that's it. Thanks.
Appreciate that, Jose. So I did a quick look up, just quick, and I found this article: Missouri Rep. Cori Bush under federal investigation after hiring husband as security, as Cori Bush again. Notice she's depicted in a better light here. It's in Lewis County. Democrats said she received a federal subpoena Monday about her campaign spending related to her security. Bush's campaign has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on security services over the years, including to her husband, Courtney Merritt's. So it seems like that's at least a part of the corruption, I guess, that Uzuli might be talking about, but Uzuli didn't come up to clarify it more. But I'll be honest with you, that's really not big of a deal to me. Most of these politicians are sending contracts and stuff to their family members and stuff like that. That's like par for the course to me. And I'm not going to be upset that this black woman did it too.
Yeah, I want to add too that, one of the things that about it is that, say what you will, her, Missouri, whatever district voted for her, and I mean, this right here, this, she hired a husband for security. I mean, her husband's supposed to be security. I mean, if you're getting paid for it, that's, what I mean? that's just better for what it is. But yeah, I mean, but my thing is that, realistically speaking, she was elected for it, and then she was kicked out just for not going along with, well, actually, for what it's worth, for like basically, let's say her district doesn't like the fact that there's a genocide going on, and so she was kicked out for not going along with a genocide. You know what I mean? That's like, that right there is like, come on, I wouldn't. I mean, again, I don't know what the old, I don't know if there's worse corruption, but again, it's like, you can't, Like this, like it's like this, her being kicked out wasn't really related to that, you know. And I feel like if nothing else, like if somebody does something illegal, somebody does something criminal, let the state deal with that, you know, not for an entity because of some from particular political policy, you know. That's what it is.
Yeah, well said. I agree with that 100%. Good discussion there. Good discussion there on that topic. Let's go to Shooter Breeze topic number 2.